the Pretoria meeting ended up without him signing anything. And so, yeah, it just remained like that without any movement.
But 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 there 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 there, there is movement from the side of Sabia, who's now continuing to 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 with his plan, which you refuse to accept, which involves the closing down of the team, which involves moving the dockets from KZN to Pretoria, which effectively closes down the unit, because he makes a motivation to you, I think it was on the 12th of July, asking for money, for a budget, because now these dockets are going to be basically sent back to murder and robbery to some other units. But I don't think you respond on the 12th. You only respond much later in July, I think on the 27th.
Yeah, that is correct. Of course, yeah, there was this matter. He took dockets in KZN, and then, yes, in somewhere in May, June, he did submit an application for funding of a serious and violent crime
Yes.
members from head office to go and finalize the dockets, which I considered on the.
Sorry, General, just to assist from page, from paragraph 78 on page 35. And 79 of your statement.
So 78.
78. Or start at 70. It starts at 76 under the
Is page
sub.
what? Oh, okay.
Sorry, yeah, your statement, the funding and ongoing status of the PKTT.
Yes, paragraph 70,
From 76 onwards.
76.
Yeah, that's where you narrate
Okay.
the issue
Yeah.
of funding and Sabia's requests.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. After I learned about the removal of the one-to-one dockets around April, May 2025, which were under investigation relating to PKTT and were handed over to Lieutenant General Sintumule under the instruction of Lieutenant General Sibia, which I attach a copy of that. No briefing or report was made to me by General Sibia on the dockets. I do not know where the dockets of the PKTT were stored after they were transferred to head office. I was at some stage verbally informed by General Sintumule that General Mkonazi refused to take back dockets. However, General Mkonazi did not discuss the matter with me, nor did he explain the reason behind his position on the matter. And on the 8th of July, following General Mkonazi's press statement, Lieutenant General Sibia sought to approve a request for funding for investigation of political killing dockets that were taken to head office by members of serious and violent crime investigation. The funding request is as per SFM 14. So he was requesting that a group of members from Pretoria be deployed to KwaZulu-Natal to go and investigate this one-to-one case dockets. On the 22nd of July 2025, I did consider the application, and I rejected the request for funding relating to the investigation of the one-to-one proposed and recommended by Lieutenant General Sibia. This was essentially a proposal for the one-to-one dockets to be investigated and concluded by serious and violent crime investigation team, murder and robbery. As noted in the document, I refused to approve because mandate. I also question why the dockets were at the headquarters when it was in the various meetings, the 6th of March, no, the 6th of, 6th of March meeting in Cape Town. It was General Sibia and Mr. Ngabinde that emphasized that dockets should not even go to province, but they should go to station of origin. So one find it then in Pretoria. Any other funding to be done, those dockets should go back to the same team that was investigating them.
So um, that when did you order? Just to remind us, when did you order Lieutenant General Sabir to stay at home? Was that
Pardon,
in July?
when?
When did you order Lieutenant General Sabir to stay at home? Before you use the word suspend.
It must be after somewhere after 6th of July.
Yeah. So, and that was after he made the request on the 12th of July. When you rejected his request, he was now at home. Is that right?
No, I think he signed the request before he stayed at home. Let me just
Yeah, you rejected the request on the 22nd of July.
correct.
Because on the 28th, you also received the request from Lieutenant General Nkwenazi for further extension of the PKTT and approval of the attached budget.
That is correct, yes. I did receive a request from Lieutenant General Mkonasi for further extension of the PKTT team. Uh, Also, you would recall that, remember that all along, we never knew what was the motive for the closure of the disbandment of the PKTT. But after somewhere in May, I think 14 May, when Mr. Matlala was arrested, and the team then made us aware somewhere late in June as to they found messages on the phones that indicates or show that what was the real motive for the disbandment of the team. By then, we knew that all these moves then was definitely to circumvent investigation of the operation in Gauteng. So the bringing the disbandment of the team and also the bringing of the dockets have a direct link, or it was actually to circumvent the arrest of the people, the Ket Matlalas and the others. So one can conclude that when the one-to-one doggers were taken from KZN, somebody thought the project of Howden Doggers is within those doggers because the political killing stars team was assisting Howden to investigate, whereas in actual fact, the Howden Doggers were never there in the PKTT. Hence, I think there was a further letter by General Sibiya to say General Kumalun should bring all the dockets, including those of Gauteng. So it shows you the intention was to look for the dockets of Gauteng.
Okay. And when an audit eventually was done of those dockets, and they had not been investigated at all, and and you then ordered a return of those dockets to KZN.
Yeah, that is correct, Honorable Chair. Yeah, I did on the 18th of August after somewhere in May, after I pick up that there are dockets in here, and I did, when I inquired what are they doing here, I was told that they were ordered by General Sibia. And when I asked him, I couldn't find a plausible explanation as to what are the dockets doing in head office. Then, well, he came up with this request for funding where he said he's sending these dockets back with a team, which I then disapproved. But then I asked one of the generals in the detectives to undertake an audit of these dockets, and after which he must then, and then I wrote a letter on the 18th of August informing the PC of KZN that he must, these dockets will be audited and handed back to him for handing back to the PKTT and for further investigation, of which I gave him the discretion that if there are those other dockets that he would think to send them to any other unit or station, he must just respond to me to say that's how he is treating the matter. And indeed, he did respond to say the dockets are back to the PKTT, but I think there were 3 or so dockets uh, which he indicated in the letter that he sent them back to the Eastern Cape.
Okay. Um, just very quickly, because we have all the facts that led up to the directive of the 31st of December. There was no consultation with you. There was no consultation with Lieutenant General Kwanazi or Kumalo. You saw the minister on the 28th of December. He didn't mention anything. You were surprised, maybe even shocked, when you saw this directive of the 31st of December. You've described that the presentations made by, amongst others, Lieutenant General Kumalo and Kwanazi as the leaders of the task team over the years since 2018, the approval of the budgets by your predecessor, I think, General Satoli, and then subsequently you, clearly, oh, I don't want to put words in your mouth, can one say clearly makes this an operational matter, and that you were not in agreement with the directive? Is that a fair summary?
Yeah, that is a fair summary, Honorable Chairperson and members. Yes.
And so, because we're not sitting as a court of law, uh, it, 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 it questions the lawfulness of that directive, the one of 31 December 2024. Or are you bold enough to say it was unlawful for the minister to interfere in your operational sphere?
That is correct, Honorable Chair. Yeah, as I said, the directive right from the origin looks a bit suspicious and questionable, but with time, eventually it proved that the motive on the directive was not necessarily simple closure of the team, but it was an act directed to make sure that the operation in Gauteng is scrambled. It can't proceed. That we definitely, after the team arrested Matlala, then later they did make us aware of that.
Do you know, or did you know, um, Professor Mary Dahan, who's an academic, KZN, well-known activist in the area of policing and especially police killings, has written quite extensively about it?
Yeah, I'm aware of, yes,
Yeah.
a Meriti has, yes. He write quite a lot.
And do you know that she's not a fan of the political killing stars team?
I'm aware she's not a friend of most police, not necessarily the PKTT. Most police, she will write a lot. She will give me instructions, what I must do and how and all sorts of that. I'm aware.
Well, it appears as if the minister became a fan of Mary Dance. She wrote a letter to him, and she's bad mouthing the political killing stars team and saying how bad they were and how bad Lieutenant General Kumalo is, and he's not qualified to lead the team. You don't know about that letter. There was also a complaint subsequently filed or lodged with the police committee in Parliament, portfolio committee.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of that. She has been writing a lot of letters. I mean, but of course, some of those, most of his letters are not factual. When you read it, you quickly can realize that this person is not basing whatever she writes on facts.
Okay. All right. I'm not going to ask you any further on that. The
Or are you, through you, Honorable Chair, or are you insinuating that the minister disbanded the team because of the letters of Ms. Meritias?
Now I'm more than insinuating. I'm telling you that that is one of the reasons that the minister will give that informed his decision to direct the disbandment of the political killing stars, and that she wrote to him on the 24th of October 2024.
Then, through your Honorable Chair, if that's the case, then not only us as police should be concerned, I think the whole South Africans should be concerned if a minister of police can base his decision
Yeah.
on letters from an individual like Meridi has.
Yeah, of course, to be fair, he gives other reasons. the budget. He says in 2024, I think March, the budget for the task team was reduced quite substantially, which shows that it was scaling down its activities. He refers to the letter. What's the other two reasons?
Have
So,
honorable souls.
sorry, Chair. So anyway, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to comment on what some of his reasons might be. But I mean, what's also, of course, curious.
Chair, Chair, just for clarity, um, Advocate Aronsa is presenting evidence on behalf of the minister who's going to be a witness here and is expecting the current witness, National Commissioner, to answer on that. But what concerns me more is that the advocate is making an assertion. He is actually saying the reason why the task team or the minister wanted to disband the task team was because of those letters. I mean, that is presenting an assertion as if it is fact. I want clarity, is that procedurally correct?
Honorable Nomvalo.
Chair, my understanding is that there's absolutely nothing wrong that has been done by the SC because he is putting a proposition to the witness. The witness has a right to deny or accept that proposition and qualify. If he denies, he must qualify, and if he accepts, he must qualify. He is not putting it as facts to say these are the facts that you cannot contest. So he's putting a proposition. So it is up to the witness to either deny or accept. So there's absolutely nothing wrong. That is my understanding.
Okay, then the question is the letter that the SC is referring
No,
to
but
part
this is
of
out
the
of order,
statement?
Chair. People can't just patch in like what he's
You are
doing.
just doing the same thing.
You can't just patch in.
I was on the floor. I'm asking, Chair, is the letter that we are dealing with now in the statement?
Honorable souls. And
Chair, I just want clarity. Is the
wait,
letter,
just hold a moment, respectfully. So the two honorable members, Honorable Souls and Honorable Nomval, the people of this country are watching you, and they want to see your best and the best out of you. Can you please show them your best and show them the best out of you? I respect that you do that in the name of the people that we claim to serve. Please. Can we then come back to the meeting? Can I note hands of members who want to speak? Honorable Souls, Honorable Cameron, Honorable Sango. Yeah, can we speak in that? Just hold. SC General Masemola, just a moment. Okay, Honorable Souls.
my understanding is that senior counsel is leading evidence, so he needs to deal with what the commissioner has submitted to us. So my question is, the letter that he's referring to, despite the assertion, is it part of the national commissioner's statement?
Honorable Cameron.
Chair, I just wanted to say, I don't think there's anything to talk about. The SC is flowing, the process is working. This is our third day. Things are going well. Let's just keep moving. Let the AC be the AC. Thanks, Chair.
Honorable Sangoni.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with the assertion that everything is cruising, but perhaps just to put honorable souls at comfort. The SGC, firstly, in the morning did indicate that he would do exactly what he was doing, and he explained to us that the general is not going to be able to come back again, and therefore he will put some of these assertions. But on the issue of Mary de Haas, it does feature in the annexures that the general had submitted, even though he doesn't go into the letter. So it's not like it's issues that arise out of nowhere. So I support the notion that we should proceed. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Can I get an answer to my question, Chair?
I
Is the letter, is the letter part of the statement? Is it here? That's the question.
okay. Honorable Malem.
No, you need to reprimand the behavior of that honorable member. You just called him to order and he's repeating that. He just budges like we're in a cell, prison cell. Please, man, they must speak through you. You call them to show the best of them. The honorable member, the other one is showing the best of, is repeating that other ugly part we don't want to see, of just budging. They must speak through you, Chair. Please. There are generals, they will arrest people.
Honorable Ngola.
No, Chair, I think also in this submission, we must pay attention. The submission by Honorable Sangoni does suggest that what does this, which the SC is saying, is part of the attachments in the volumes of evidence that have been submitted to us. So I don't know Honorable Sols's question that he wants to be answered. Was this matter has been resolved? Can we proceed, Chair, please?
Honorable Sols.
Chair, firstly, you must confirm to Honorable Malema that before I came and spoke, you looked at me when I raised my hand. So I wasn't out of order. That's number one. Number two, I'm not the one who's convicted for a criminal offense. So if someone needs to be arrested, it should be Honorable Malema. However, Chairperson, however, I am merely asking if the House says, or if you say, Chair, that the letter that is evidence in the minister's statement, is that letter also part of the commissioner's statement? Then let the commissioner say the letter that senior counsel is referring to is what he gave us. Why was the commissioner not able to answer? He had to come back and ask, are you insinuating? And the reason why he did that is because it's not him that submitted that. But if I am wrong, I am willing to step back, Chair. But I have the right to ask for clarity. Thank you.
Sir, look, honorable members, we have had a very exciting ad break. Do you still want me to give you time to go on? Maybe part of the country enjoys this moment. Let's see. All the documents are attached, isn't it? The matter of Mary de Haas is not coming for the first time before this committee. And it has also been spoken at length during the appearance of General Mkwana. So it's very important to the general who is the accounting head of the SAPS. Even if he says, I don't want to comment about this matter, but it must be brought to his attention. And we want to request you to understand, Honorable Souls, that the senior counsel is right to put the matter to General Masemola. Thank you so much. Okay.
My question was, is the letter, show me the letter as part of the statement. That's all I want to know. Is the letter part of the statement? No, no, the evidence leader didn't answer.
Okay.
Is the letter part of, and point me to the letter, please, Chair.
Senior counsel, the, the honorable member wants to hear you speak on this matter.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The letter is not part of the, general, it's not part of General Masemola's statement, obviously. Um, It was discussed, I think someone made a valid point that I think you did. Uh, it was discussed at length. In fact, not from questions that I put to Lieutenant General Mkwanazi, from questions that arose from the honorable members yesterday at length. He spoke about the house. He had quite a few interesting floral things to say about Mr. Haas, which we won't repeat here, General, in front of you. You might just reprimand him. But so it was discussed. The letter, what I'm doing is, while we have the benefit of having General Masemola here, I'm putting to him, this is what Minister Kunu is going to say, are some of the reasons that he's going to give that informs his decision of the 31st of December. It's for his comment. Uh, Otherwise, he's going to sit at home watching the TV maybe. Uh, Minister Kunu sits where he's sitting now, gives his evidence, and he said, no. But this is the first time I'm hearing this. I'm giving him an opportunity to comment. He may refuse to comment, decline, or say, okay, I hear you, and we move on. Thank you. May I proceed? Thank you. Uh, Sorry, General. Um, While I'm at it, I might as well give you the 4 reasons he gives, and you can comment. The one is he says he received a number of WhatsApp complaints about this killing task team. But these WhatsApps, he says he can't find them anymore. They've disappeared. So we'll ask him about that. The other one is the Dahan letter, which is a lot more detailed. The third one is the budget. I think you're aware that in March 2024, when the CFO, I think she did reduce the budget, and budgetary constraints were cited. But that is March 24. He became minister only in July 2024. And then there's also a work study by someone called some police officer, Fisser or somebody, and that work study does feature in the in this in the Sabia affidavit. So, just for your comment, if you're aware of any of this or want to comment on it, otherwise, just so that you know, this is what he's going to say.
Thanks, Honorable Chair and members. Senior Counsel, you say the second one. What is the second one?
It's the WhatsApps, it's Dahan, it's the budget, and the work study. That work study, just in case you can't remember what it was about, it's by an officer, surname of Fisser. Marais. Sorry. Marais. It actually is a work study that relates to several of the specified projects and task teams, including narcotics and other task teams. And one of the items there is political killings. And then the minister latches onto that part of it, political killings, as a justification or a reason why he took a decision. Can you recall that work study?
Through you, Honorable Chair, I will respond to Senior Counsel. I don't get the number 2. After WhatsApp, what's the second one?
the Dahan letter.
The Han.
Dahan, yeah. Das.
Or the Has. Oh, all right.
My Afrikaans is not so good this afternoon.
Okay. Thanks, Honorable Chair. Well, we didn't know with WhatsApps, as you say. But firstly, on Meriti Has, I mean, she writes a letter every week. If you're going to disband the unit out of that, surely there is then there is huge problems. With regard to budget constraints, well, there have been budget constraints all along, but does it mean if there are budget constraints, the minister would not talk to me, he will jump and go to CFO and take decisions? That's quite strange if that's the case. The second one, same with the work study. The work study obviously was sanctioned by me. And if it gets approved by myself as National Commissioner. And I'm the one that will indicate whether here we implement or we don't implement. There is no any other person that can unilaterally go decide somewhere that you implement. So where did he get this work study from? Because I supposed to have given a directive that we implement. I'm aware that yes, there was a work study to say let's look at all task teams nationally. But at the end of the day, it does not mean whatever has been recommended is going to be implemented if it's not feasible. To give an example of a task team that has been there for quite some time, the task team that is at the border of South Africa and Mozambique in the northern KwaZulu-Natal, Emanguzi. It has been there for quite some time. And most of you knows how the community there is unhappy if the task team is not there. You remove them one day, you will have problems same day. So it's some matters that unfortunately we have to live with. So does it mean then the minister will just have powers to go and remove a task team? Surely that's not how it works. So those work studies, at some point we'll decide which ones we implement and which ones not. And of course, I don't think it's fair for the minister to implement what is in work studies on behalf of me, without me. Surely that is wrong according to me. So I don't find any cogent reason out of these four. I don't find any reason that definitely hold water that you could go alone and decide to write a letter of disbandment. Well, surely you could have engaged to say, these are the reasons and this is what I'm thinking. Then we can then discuss with the minister and look at what is the real facts. Meriti House will say political task team have got no mandate to exist, is useless, have got no, does not have successes. But we know those that now and then you read, you see the convictions they are having now and then. So it depends where she's writing from. But if you're writing from really this country, you should be aware of the work of the team. There's so many convictions that are out there that they do make on a daily basis. And for me, that doesn't justify or suffice to have written such a directive based on these reasons that are being given. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, General. Can we just move on to another topic? The Medicare 24 Swani contract. It's at page 39, paragraph 89. Through to the top of page 44. Um, Now, just before we go into a bit more detail and just as briefly as you can, just describe to us what this was a huge contract, a multi-million rand contract. 200, 360 million rand contract. Um, how would such a contract be awarded? Just briefly, what are the procurement processes that would have to be followed before an award is made of a contract of that size?
Thanks, Honorable Chair. Yeah, on just a background, contracts will be advertised and people will bid. So in this case, it was also the case that a health risk management contract for subs was advertised at some point, and there was, when a contract get advertised, there is what we call the bid, well, first the specification committee, and secondly is the bid evaluation committee. And the bid evaluation committee, they will evaluate, recommend whatever they recommend to the bid adjudication committee. And the bid adjudication committee will then do their processes for adjudicating and then end up with allocating a bid and sign off a bid. So in this case, the same thing happened. They advertise.
Sorry, General. So the bid adjudication committee will they will still recommend that an award be made to such and such a bidder. You would still, do you sign off the approval of that bid, or is it the minister?
No, it is signed off by the divisional commissioner of supply chain management. It's delegated to that level.
So it doesn't really land on your desk.
No, it doesn't at all.
So who appoints? There's also, you advertise, and then there's a sifting process.
Yeah, the sifting process is that bid evaluation committee that gets appointed. That's the committee that does the sifting, and from there they will do in terms of supply chain processes, whatever evaluation, whether they do through point system, whatever, and then they will recommend to the bid adjudication committee. So in this specific one, the same process was followed, and the BAC then allocated this to Medicare 24 Tshwane district. But I must say that somewhere in that process, I did get an indication of a call from one of the members of IDEC to say he's concerned about a company called Medicare 24 that is bidding for this contract, and it might have no tax clearance certificate, and it was involved in Tembisa. And I did inquire from the relevant officials, which there was an acting divisional commissioner by then. I inquired about that. And the response I got was that people get given a specific period to submit an updated tax clearance certificate, which in this case, Medicare 24 have submitted a valid tax clearance certificate, and also Medicare 24 is not blacklisted by the National Treasury on the central database. As a result, they are free to bid like anybody else. And I think, yeah, that was I gave them that feedback and that was it.
So you had no involvement in this bid,
Not at all.
but you received a call from, did you say from IDEC?
That's correct,
You got a
Honorable
call
Chair.
from IDEC. You can't remember who from IDEC phoned you.
I think it's a Mr. Perumal.
Mr. Perumal.
Yeah, I might be either him or the other one, but I think, yeah.
And the concern was raised about one of the tenderers. What in particular was the concern raised?
He said they are involved in the tender in Tembisa, which they are investigating.
At that time, did you know who the tenderer was? Either the name, well, you obviously got the name of the entity, the company, because that is how you had the matter investigated.
Yeah, well, I didn't know whose tender it is. I must say I didn't even know. I just know he said Medicare 24. So Medicare 24, I know the name in terms of clinics when you go to a clinic, whatever. But I didn't know whose company it is whatsoever. And after I got the response, that was sufficient for me, and I gave the relevant person the feedback, and he was much appreciative, and that's where we ended with the matter.
So at the time, uh, you weren't aware that the company referred to was owned by Sumzi Kat Matlala.
No. I didn't know that who's the owner of the company, and I also didn't know who's Vusimusi Matlala. I didn't know at all.
You let the cat out of the bag because he was subsequently awarded the contract.
Yeah, subsequently, yes. Later, I learned that he was the person behind the Medicare 24, and he was awarded the contract. But there was an issue around Medicare 24 and Medicare 24 Tshwane district. So somewhere at the BAC, there was this confusion of Medicare 24 and Medicare 24 Tshwane district. Looks like the other one is a holding company of the other one, something to that effect.
Um, to your knowledge, do you know whether the minister and who at the time was the minister? Was it Minister Cele or Minister Mkunu?
At that time, it was awarded around June. Yeah, it's just looks like, I'm not sure whether it was Minister Kele, but yeah, it must have, because it was
I
awarded
think
in
it was
June.
Minister Cele
Yeah, it was
because Minister Mkunu was
in
appointed
July.
in July.
Yes, yeah, correct.
Are you aware, or to your knowledge, did Minister Mkunu make any inquiries about this contract?
Yes, correct. Somewhere in December, he did say we must meet and discuss about the health risk manager contract, which indeed we had a meeting with him on the 24th of December. I think it was a virtual meeting, and we discussed the issue around the contract, the service delivery around the contract, and we picked up that yes, even the performance of the contract was a problem, and so we then agreed that I tasked the internal audit and risk management to go and audit this contract, look at the whole processes, whether this was awarded correctly, yes, no, and all those. And then there was a subsequent follow-up meeting, I think somewhere in February. Uh, and and then there was a preliminary report by the audit committee that was released. Let's just check when was that.
Just while you're looking there, General, who signed off the contract that finally concluded the award?
The service, well, the contract is signed by the divisional commissioner supply chain, as far as I remember, and the service level agreement was signed by the deputy national commissioner for support services, Lieutenant General Nkua.
What did you make of Minister Nkunu requesting you in December 2024 for a review of the contract? And what reasons would you, or did you give, or did he give for the review of this contract?
Yeah, there was a media article, I think, about a Mr. Ket Matlala, and which also indicated that he got a contract in subs, and he also mentioned the concern about the matters of whether was this contract allocated or, in order, and is the contract performing. So the report was that yes, there are problems with this specific contract, and they did write letters to the relevant managers of the contract of this company, alerting them that they are defaulting in certain areas.
Would or does the minister have anything to do with the award of a contract at any stage during the procurement process? Or does it depend on the amount?
Through Chairperson, can you pardon me? Repeat.
I said, would a minister be involved at any stage in the award of a contract? Or does it depend on the amount of the contract?
No, he doesn't get involved, but I think this stage, December, the contract was already awarded.
So the minister wouldn't be involved at all?
Yeah, no, the minister don't get involved, but however, as I was saying, by that time, in December, the contract was already awarded.
And it had already been implemented?
Yes, the contract is already running, is being implemented,
Was
yes.
running. And there were some, so I suppose under the guise of some kind of oversight function, the minister could ask you to review a contract, maybe because of information he received or what he heard.
Yeah, it's possible, yes. We took it that obviously he must have received information somewhere around the contract. And hence then I tasked the internal audit and the risk to go and audit this specific contract.
Now, there was an internal review and you received an internal audit report. You um, you summarize the outcome on page 40, paragraphs 91.1 to 91.4, which indicates or highlights a number of red flags. 91.1 to 91.4.
Correct, correct, Honorable Chair, 9144, 91.1, the Bid Evaluation Committee, that is the BEC, lacked the appropriate skill and competence to evaluate the bid. There was no evidence of individual scoring in the bidding file. The due diligence did not assess the bidder's unethical or ethical behavior in other procurement processes. There was evidence of misrepresentation of facts and bid fronting in the bid documents, and the utilization of facilitators in the bid evaluation process exposed SAPS to corruption risk, which was damaging to SAPS reputation. That was the preliminary report in January.
And then you said paragraph 92, in addition, the red flags were also raised by the preliminary internal audit concerning Medicare 24 Swanee's poor performance.
That's correct, Honorable Chair.
You then subsequently wrote on the 24th of March asking for reasons why you should not terminate the contract.
Yeah, that is correct, Honorable Chair. Yes, I wrote to them to give reasons why we shouldn't terminate.
But by then, you had paid, that's obviously SEPS. In January 2005, SEPS paid Medicare 24 Swanee 50 million rand for the health services contract.
That is correct, Honorable Chairperson. Well, there was the service that they provided, and they were paid for that service.
So what were they paid for? Poor service?
Well, there were written letters of warnings for the poor service, and they had to deliver, which eventually they did deliver the service. You'd recall that we had to, early this year, we had to have 5,500 kids in the college. So there were problems around that, but eventually they delivered that service. They were able to process those students. We sent them to the college, and hence they were paid for that. And eventually, after that letter of intention, based on the preliminary report, and then in April, there was a final report which subsequently, based on the final report, I subjected it to legal processes, of course. Some were saying we go to court, some were saying we cancel, but after after the legal processes were finalized, eventually I did cancel the bid.
Or was the tender subsequently re-advertised and re-evaluated and re-awarded?
No, it's not yet re-awarded. They are in the process of getting to re-advertise. But what is happening now, since that time, there is a forensic audit that is being done, so that when that forensic audit is finalized, it's supposed to be finalized now during October, November. And once that specific audit forensic audit is finalized, then we are going to then uh, re-advertise and also take action against employees, against whoever that have been guilty of a misconduct. Because the practice we have seen is you can't take action on especially on the members on based on the audit report. We have experiences in the past where you do that later when you finalize your forensic audit. You find either more involvement of other people which you left out, and maybe you dealt with those that were not really much involved. So the advice by both the legal team and the CFO is that we finalize the forensic audit, which is going to happen now. And from there, we take action against those members that are involved. But at the same time, I did undertake a process of reviewing the whole process that they should be, where I'm reviewing the delegation of powers, that certain amounts should be signed off by various levels, and the divisional commissioners sign up to a certain amount, and I also sign some amounts, I think it's 300 million and up. But also what I introduced in the process is that there should be a probity audit, because initially they will go on with all those processes of specification, evaluation, adjudication, and award. And when the audit comes, they come after the fact. So now what I introduce is that after the BAC have finalized their process, but before they can allocate, they must wait. There must be a probity audit of the whole process. Only once that have happened, only then can they award. There are various schools of differing legal opinions in that, but I said that is the same way we go that route, and yeah, if there are those that challenge the process, we'll take it from there with the legal people.
Okay. Um, I just want to move on to, there was something specifically that you, when we consulted with you, wanted to address under this heading in your affidavit on page 44 to 46. Um, the false narrative driven in the media. Um, do you want to comment on that? From paragraphs 98. And you give two examples where you claim the media has been used and play an active role in spreading falsehoods about you.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Chair. Yeah, well, some of the media and some of the honorable members, I say that there is a deliberate effort by certain politicians to discredit me and cast doubt on my integrity. In this regard, I would highlight two examples where the media are used and played an active role in spreading falsehood about me. Around May, June 2025, stories began to appear in the media that the IDEC was about to arrest me, and that warrant of arrest has been issued, and even reported that I was in my office and I was shivering with fear, similar ways to that effect. And whereas this never happened, and even that time I was actually here in Cape Town, I was not in that office where they're referring to. And this story received some publicity for some days. And a month later, the same similar story also appeared, which also once again attracted public attention. And well, the story was dispelled eventually by the head of IDEC, but it was there in the media. Now, the question, however, begs to be asked as to who would spread such falsehood and what would be the intention. One can only speculate without knowing exactly as to who. We trust our media, we trust that they report with integrity, but I have no doubt that the intention was to discredit me and to undermine my integrity. Also, on the 10th of September 2025, the DA issued a media statement indicating that Ms. Kola Barnard wrote a letter to acting minister requesting him to immediately act against myself and to ensure the rearrest of Major General Lushava. According to the statement, I met with Major General Lushaba, who's currently released on bail, apparently in contravention of his bail conditions. I attached a copy of the media statement as SFM 22 and the letter that was also subsequently sent to the acting Minister of Police as SFM 23. Honorable Chair, these allegations are baseless. It is a well-known fact that on the 9th and the 10th, I was here in Cape Town. On the 9th, I went with the Minister of Police. We spent the day with communities in Michelle's Plain and Mfuleni. And on the 10th, I attended a police portfolio committee meeting here at this house. And in the afternoon, I was in Kraaifontein, Kraaifontein police station, where I made a press briefing. So my movements during that week were widely publicized in the media, yet a member of parliament persisted to pursue the false narrative. According to the media statement, the bail conditions of General Lushaba prevented him from having contact with state witness, and he was apparently prevented from entering any crime intelligence premises. These allegations do not correspond to any bail conditions imposed on Major General Lushaba. Yet a media statement from a political party indicates that I disregarded the law. I can only guess what the motive of the statement would be. I wouldn't know. But as I said, my movements were widely covered. I was in Cape Town. And Major General Lushaba have got no bail conditions whatsoever. So I don't know what objective. I thought members of this house will only report facts and not report, I would say, gossip. I don't know. And I don't know where they get the facts, and I don't know what the objective is. But if the member do have facts, it will be fair enough to produce. Maybe there's something I don't know. But to say I met General Lushaba, whereas I'm in Cape Town, is in Pretoria. I wouldn't know how does one come to that conclusion. And well, if ever I met him, is there any criminal offense? But here, in this case, the fact of the matter is I never met the person. I was here for the whole 2 days. And somebody issued a statement to that effect. So those are some of things that I'm sure members of this house are being respected. So if you make a statement, I'm sure the public take you serious in what you are saying. Now, here the statement is out, and is wrong, is false. So life goes on. I think it's quite unfair. I wouldn't know what is the motive, but it is not correct. Thank you very much.
So, General, would you, obviously that's noted, and no doubt the committee has noted it, and um, it's noted, and no doubt the committee will report on it to the National Assembly. But would you go as far as Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, who has demanded that the State Security Agency conduct an investigation into some journalists, I think one or two of whom he's named, given the, you know, you've seen subsequently the criticism from the media, um, that this obviously is a violation of press and media freedom, and to call for such an investigation would be unconstitutional.
Yeah, thanks, Honorable Chair. Maybe I will not go as far as that. We do engage SANEF now and then, and we will continue engaging them. But what should be clear is that in as much as they enjoy media freedom, we also as individuals and as organizations, we do have rights, and they must respect those rights. We are human beings like them, and spreading falsehood is not the correct thing to do. You are just damaging, not necessarily attacking Masemola as an individual, but you are also causing more damage to the organization with those type of falsehoods. So I wouldn't go as far as say maybe state security investigate. No, I think there is a body of that controls the media. That body should be accountable for their members, and they should call on them to report responsibly. You can't just go out, report anything that you pick up from anybody.
Yeah, if it seems to be pretty obvious that if you allege, like Lieutenant Nkwanazi has done, that some journalists are being paid, because that's really where he comes from. And I don't know if it happens in your case, they're being paid to spread stories, false stories, or plant false stories. Then one must get to the root cause. And those are the people who are apparently involved in criminal syndicates, drug syndicates, and paying journalists. Those are the ones one must go after and catch them.
Yeah, if you investigate, yes, you can investigate those that pays them. Of course, that statement is not necessarily to say is a lie. It's not a false. It's not a lie. There are those that are being paid to do this type of dirty work.
Yeah, and of course you've got recourse. Like you've highlighted in this affidavit, there's nothing stopping you from complaining to the press ombud, lodging a complaint, and the press ombud must investigate your complaints.
No, I agree, Honorable Chair. Thanks very much. I'll do so.
Just lastly, it is something that I raised with you only this morning, because it only happened this morning. So it's not in the affidavit. We see in the media now of the arrest of Lieutenant General Sabia, or raid, sorry. See, I'm also maybe reading the wrong media. A raid conducted on Lieutenant General Sabia. Are you aware of it?
Yeah, because I was busy here doing everything preparation, Honorable Chair. At one of the breaks, I was informed that there was a search and seizure warrant where the investigation team went to collect gadgets. They were not arresting anybody. It was just a matter of apparently uh, looking for people to get the gadgets. So I'm sure they missed each other in the process there. I will still be briefed as I get out here. That's the little I can say. Thank you.
And also, I mentioned to you this morning and subsequently, Chair, maybe you didn't have an opportunity. The letter was copied to the evidence leaders that there was also an attempt to obtain these devices from Gabinde and Minister Mkunu.
Yeah, yeah. When I got the brief, that is exactly what I was told. That they were looking for the people's gadget, not for the people.
So again, it was just to obtain their mobile, their cell phones,
That is correct, Honorable Chair.
not to arrest them.
No, they say they were looking for gadgets, not for arresting people.
Yes, because we want Lieutenant General Sabia to be on Monday.
No, he will be here, Honorable Chair. He will be here.
Although this committee does have the power to order the head of a prison to release a detainee to come and give evidence here.
Yeah, no, I was told that they were looking for gadgets, not arresting people, Honorable Chair. Thanks.
Maria? Thank you, Honorable Chair and Honorable Members. General, thank you very much for your cooperation and for your evidence. From what we've heard so far, we wish you the best of luck, but also quite happy to hear that the good people in the service are doing their job and keeping us safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Not bad.
Hey, this,
2 minutes.
you need 2 more minutes, okay.
No, I said just out by 2 minutes. Maybe it's at last over.
You can use those 2 minutes. Are you done? Look, my honorable members are surprised. I mean, it's like it happened so quick, in the speed of a lightning. Uh, Senior counsel, since we started, this is the shortest round ever. And Honorable Malema agrees with me that this is the shortest round ever. Oh, okay. Eh? Yeah, no. Let me take this opportunity and thank you, Senior Counsel, for the manner in which evidence was led. And I think honorable members can agree that as the train moves, it gathers more and more steam. We want to thank you so much for that. And thank you, General, thank you so much for your availability. No. Listen to me, honorable members, because I want to say something here. I want to say something. I don't have absolute powers. The powers rest with the committee in terms of the terms of reference. I want to check with you whether you want to call it stamps now the end of the day, or okay, okay, honorable members, Glenis is the whip of this committee. What is Glenis saying? What is Honorable Breitenbach? Look, when we started,
saying bye-bye.
the public has never seen you in this committee. They may want to hear you speak today.
Let them hear me. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Honorable members, we have come to the end of the proceedings and I want to thank you so much. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Since we started, we are always a full house. And even at the time we closed the proceedings, the 11 of us is always present in the meeting. And I want to thank you so much for that. It's a very good practice. We show a very good example of how people are led. Tomorrow, because we are going to have a field day, the starting time is 9 o'clock. The venue is Good Hope Chambers. Thank you so much.
Members must keep their files.
I mean, members must keep their files. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They must keep their. When I say they must keep their files, I mean.